Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well and safe at your places. So students, in this particular class, we'll be continuing your first chapter of economics that we have started in the last class. So in this particular class, we'll be starting with a new topic, but the chapter will remain the same, okay? So first, before starting with the topic or introducing about the topic, I will be showing you different images. So you have to observe these images and you have to tell me what different things you are able to see in that particular images. So these are the images. So now you have to observe this and you have to tell me in the comment section, like what are you able to see in these images. Yes. Like first you have to tell me what different crops are being shown here in these images. You have to name them. Yes. Yes. Very good, students. So we have different crops that are being shown here in this particular slide. Like we have paddy, we have maize, wheat is there, barley is there, cucumber are being shown here, bitter gourd is there, then watermelon we have, gram, peas, then jawar, bajra. So these are different crops that are being shown here. Okay. So now tell me, if I ask you to divide this crop into different categories, then how would you divide them? Like you have must have studied about the categorization of crops in your previous classes. So then so these are the crops. So now you have to divide them into different categories. So what categories you will be adopt, or what categories you will be differentiate these crops? Yes. Yes, very good, students. So some of you have written the correct answer that we can divide these crops into Kharif, Rabi, and Zaid. So we can divide them. So these categorization are on the basis of season, in which season they are being grown. So we can divide this crop into different cropping season, that is Kharif, Rabi, and Zaid. Very good, students. So now in today's class also we will be continuing your first chapter of economics, that is story of village Palampur. So the name of the chapter is story of village Palampur. But in today's class we'll be mainly focusing about the multi-cropping pattern or the multi-cropping method and the modern farming method. So in this so in this class we'll be talking about that what methods or what crops the village of Palampur farmers they have produced and they have grown, and what methods they have adopted for growing this particular crops. Okay, so now moving forward, so now as we have seen that farmers can grow different crops on one particular land, like they can grow rabi crops also, kharif crop also, and zaid crops also. So apart from climate, the one thing is that we have discussed that one factor is climate, that we all know that because of the good climate, we are able to grow different crops in that different season. Okay. So apart from climate, what other factors or what other reasons are responsible that farmers are able to grow different crops like on one particular land? What are the other reasons apart from climate that farmers are able to grow different crops on this particular land? Like what do you think? Yes, you can write your answers in the comment section. Yes, very good. So the one thing is that because of the irrigation facilities. So like if there is a good irrigation facilities available in that area, so we can grow different crops on one particular land. And apart from irrigation facilities, as some of you have written about the soil, so that can also be a one reason that we can also, if the soil is more fertile, then we can grow the crop easily in those area. Okay, so apart from soil, what other thing you do you think this can be a one reason due to which farmers are able to grow different crops? Yes, irrigation facilities are there, soil is there, and think like what farmers they add into the crop so that there will be a good production of the crop. Yes, very good. So fertilizers are also important. So if we use good fertilizers, then we will be able to grow different crops at one particular land. So there are many reasons apart from this. You can also mention them in the comment section and I will be reading them simultaneously. So these are the three things that we have discussed till now, that climate is one thing, irrigation facilities are there. If we have good irrigation facilities, then soil we have, if fertile soil is there, then if farmers use good fertilizers, then they can able to grow different crops on one particular land. So now we will discuss that what things or what cropping pattern the farmers of village Palampur they have adopted and how they are doing agriculture in village Palampur. So now if I talk about village Palampur, so in village Palampur, like first they are doing the multi-cropping system in that village Palampur. So what is multi-cropping? As the name itself suggests that. So to grow more than one crop on a piece of land during the year is known as multi-cropping. Like suppose if this is a land and we can grow more than one crop, like in most of the area we see that people are growing one particular crop on one particular land. Like the whole year they are growing one particular crop, but when we grow, we have one piece of land and in that area we are growing more than one crop, like we can grow two crops or more than two crops on that particular piece of land, and that is called multi-cropping. So suppose if this is a piece of land and I am growing potato also in this land and also I am growing peas here. So here I am growing two crops simultaneously. So that will be known as multi-cropping pattern or multi-cropping. Okay. So all the farmers in the village Palampur grow at least two main crops. Like they, as we know that they are adopting the multi-cropping pattern. So they are growing two main crops. That the one is potato. So many are growing potato as the third crop. Like they will grow any two crops. So this can be anything, like this can be a onion or this can be a peas. So or wheat can also be there. So they grow two main crops. Like the main crops basically we have, one is wheat and the other one is rice. So apart from these two crops, the third crop that they are growing is potato. So they are adopting the multi-cropping pattern where they have the main two crops they grown is wheat and rice, and apart from rice, the third crop that they are growing is potato. So the main reasons that farmers are able to grow different crops in village Palampur is the well-developed system of irrigation and electricity. So in the last class, as we have discussed also, so because of the irrigation facilities available in Palampur village, and also the electricity, the electricity is also available in village Palampur, due to which they are able to adopt the irrigation facilities there. So because of these two reasons, the farmers of village Palampur, they are able to grow three different crops in a year. Like in one particular year, they are able to grow three different crops on one particular piece of land. So these are the reasons. So the first reason is well development of irrigation system, and the second is availability of electricity. So because of these two things, they are able to grow three crops on one particular land. So now by the mid 1970s, the entire cultivated area of 200 hectares was irrigated. So in village Palampur, the 200 hectare area was irrigated. Okay. And they sell their surplus production in Raiganj and Shahpur. As we know that Palampur village is connected with Raiganj and Shahpur towns. Like these are the both nearby villages or towns, we can say that. So the farmers of village Palampur, that whenever they have the surplus production of their crops, so they will sell this surplus production either in Raiganj or either in Shahpur. Okay, or in both the areas they are selling their surplus production. Okay, so these are the multi-cropping pattern or multi-cropping pattern how they have adopted in village Palampur and how they are selling their surplus in the nearby towns. Okay, so now moving forward. So now you have to tell me how the spread of electricity helps the farmer of Palampur in agriculture. Like how do you think, as we know that the agriculture, so in village Palampur, we have good electricity available in that area. So how do you think the electricity help the farmers of village Palampur? Like you can take the help of these images also. Yes, what do you think? How electricity will help in the farming of village Palampur? So you have to think about this and you can write your answers in the comment section. Then I will be reading it afterwards. Okay. So like if I give you one point here. So like we can say that firstly, initially they are using the Persian wheels for the irrigation, like where they are taking the help of the bullocks or the help of the ox in that in their area. But now as the electricity are easily available, so now they are using their own tube wells, like the electricity help in establishing the tube wells or getting the tube wells in that area. So now apart from Persian wheel, they are using the tube wells for the irrigation purpose also. So this is the one thing that how electricity help in the establishment of tube wells in farming area, and then it will further help the farmers of village Palampur. So apart from this, you have to think that how electricity can help in the farming or in the agriculture sector, and then you have to tell me in the comment section. So now moving forward, so now here you have to answer this question that to grow more than one crop on a piece of land during the year is known as unicropping, multi-cropping, production or farming. So out of this four option, you have to choose one and you have to tell me the answer in comment section. Okay. So now observe these images and tell me what different things you are able to observe in this picture, particular picture. Like what different things are being shown here. Yes. Yes, very good. So here basically the modern farming methods are being shown here. So in modern farming methods, we use HYV seeds, we use fertilizers here, we have pesticides, dams, electricity, pump set, canals, diesel and farm machinery. So these are the different things that are being used in the modern farming method. Okay, so so this picture is basically about the modern farming methods. So now moving forward, so now you have to differentiate between the multi-cropping and modern cropping method. So what do you think? How multi-cropping pattern or method is different from the modern cropping method? Yes. Yes, you can write your answer in the comment section. Whatever you think, like how you can take the help from the name itself, like how multi-cropping pattern is different from the modern cropping method. What do you think? Yes. So if I give you one difference between the multi-cropping and modern cropping method, so we know that in multi-cropping method, what we are able to do, we can able to grow multiple crops on one particular piece of land. But whereas in modern cropping method, the main thing on which we are focusing is that we are using the modern methods of irrigation, more like we are almost using the modern technology for doing agriculture. In multi-cropping, we can able to we are growing multiple crops, but here we can use the traditional method of irrigation also and traditional way of agriculture. But in modern cropping, we are growing the agriculture, we are growing the crops, like we can grow one crop only, but we are using the modern technology here. So this is the basic difference between multi-cropping and modern cropping. And apart from this, you have to tell me what other difference can be there between both the methods, and you can write your answer in the comment section. Okay, so now if I talk about the modern farming method, we can say that modern cropping method or modern farming method help us to increase the production of the land. Another way is the use of modern farming method. Like with the help of modern farming method, we can increase the production of the land, because here we can use good fertilizers, we can use good irrigation facilities, we can use good seeds for the crops. So with the help of all this, we can able to increase the production of the land by adopting the modern farming methods. So now yield is measured as, so what is yield? So yield is measured as crop produced on a piece of land during a single season. Like if suppose we have one particular season, so in that season, how much production is there on this particular land, that is known as yield. Okay. So green revolution brings modern method in India to increase the production of wheat and rice. Like we know that. So first tell me in which year green revolution took place or green revolution came in India, like in which year, what was the year? Yes, very good. So in 1960, or we can say that in 1965, basically it is considered as 1960s. So in 1960s, we know that green revolution took green revolution came into India, where we are using HYV seeds. HYV seeds means high yield variety of seeds. So these are the very good seeds which help in increasing the production of the crop. So these in green revolution, the modern methods. Also, green revolution brings modern method in India where we are using HYV seeds for increasing the production of wheat and rice, which are our main two crops of India. Okay. So farmers of Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh were first to use the modern method in India. So these are the three states, Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh, where the farmers they use the modern method, or we can say the green revolution first took place in these three states. So now in village Palampur, if we talk about in village Palampur, the yield of wheat increases from 1300 kg to 3200 kg per hectare. Like with the help of modern farming methods, the village Palampur farmers they have benefited that their production are being increased. Like the yield of wheat is being increased from 1300 kg per hectare to 3200 kg per hectare. Like this is a huge difference. Like after adopting the modern farming methods, how it is further helpful for the increasing production in village Palampur. So this is the modern farming method. So now moving forward, so here is one thing. So like what do you think how this modern farming method this will help in like in your area, or you can say that you must have seen that the farmers they have adopted the modern farming method in your area also. So what do you think, as we have seen that how it is helpful in the development or in the increasing production of village Palampur? So now you have to tell me, so how this modern farming method help in the agriculture for the development of agriculture sector in your area? So how do you think how it is helpful in the development of agriculture sector if all the farmers if they have adopted the modern farming method? So what do you think how this will be helpful for the development of agriculture sector? Yes, yes. So just like village Palampur, yes, very good student. So you have mentioned good points. Like just like village Palampur, we can say that by adopting the modern farming methods, like by using the HYV seeds, fertilizer, pesticides, stamps, electricity, pump, sets, canals, so diesel and good machinery. So we can in our areas also the farmers they are able to increase the production, and when the production are increases they can able to sell their production in the markets and they can earn a good money, due to which the production are increases and there is a development in agriculture sector also, because now the production is increasing there, so it will be further helpful in the export and imports of uh, produce also, so that will also helpful for the development of nation also. So as we know that in India agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy, so it is very important that we can develop the agriculture sector. Okay, so now moving forward, so now here is one match the following activity for you. So now you have to match the list one with list two. Okay, so here is the list one, so you have to match it with list two. So you can take a screenshot of this and you can further send me this by email, or by you can also write your answer in the comment section, and or you can send me on my email that what are the answer of this particular match the following. So now moving forward, so here you have to answer this, that modern farming methods are firstly used by Delhi, Rajasthan, Sikkim or Punjab. So you have to adopt one particular option out of this four option and you have to tell me the answer. Okay. So now moving forwards, so now you have to think like how the land, like if I talk about the land, then how it will be further affected, like what are the factors that affect the land as a resource? Like what do you think? Yes, you can take the help of these images also. Like what do you think how the land is being affected in this particular images, like what is being shown here in this particular images? Like this is the first picture and this is the second picture. So now tell me what things are being shown here. Yes, so in first picture we can say that in one side we have the like the dry land or drought area, and on the other side we have the good agriculture field, and here also we have a area which is very dry. Okay, so very dry area is being shown. So now tell me, what do you think, what factors are responsible uh, for this uh, condition of this particular land? Like, if we are adopting the modern farming methods, so do you think there is any disadvantage of adopting that modern farming methods, or how they are further affecting the land? So do you think, is there any disadvantage of using the modern farming methods? Yes. Yes, very good, students. So as most of you have written the right answer, that modern farming methods, or when we use more chemicals into the agriculture field, they can further affect the land. So we will see that how the modern farming method, they have affected the land in the village Palampur also. So green revolution is associated with loss of fertility. So when we are using HYV seeds, and when we are using very when we are using fertilizers or pesticides to increase the production, so it will further affect the fertility of the soil, because when we are using excessive fertilizers and pesticides in that agriculture field, then it will seep down into the land, and it will further affect the land fertility. Okay, so green revolution is associated with the loss of fertility, and scientific reports indicates that modern farming methods have overused in natural resource base. So like on the land which is a natural resources, so many scientific reports indicates that these modern farming methods have been overdue. Sorry, so these modern farming methods have been overused in the natural resource base. So modern farming methods like the use of HYV seeds, use of fertilizers, use of good machine, use of chemical fertilizers, and then the machinery, excessive use of machinery in those areas. So these all things have been impacted the natural resource, that is land, and it will be further converted into this type. Okay. So now continuous use of groundwater for tube wells irrigation has reduced the water table below the ground. So when we are adopting the modern farming method in which we use irrigation, in which we use tube wells and canals for the irrigation. So in that case, what happens is that for tube well, we need to extract the groundwater. So when we are using or accessing more of the groundwater, so then the water table of the groundwater has been reduced in that particular area. Okay. So now we need to further take care of this thing, that when we are using the modern farming method, or when we are doing the multi-cropping pattern, or we are adopting that particular method, we must take care of the environment to ensure the future development of agriculture. Like, if we are doing such things, like we are using the excessive use is also bad for everything. So when we are using excessively the modern farming method, so it will be further affecting the natural resource, that is our land, which is very important for agriculture. So we need to must take care of the environment also when we are adopting such modern techniques for agriculture, so that there is a future development of agriculture also, and there is a development of land or natural resources also, so that they can be used by our future generation. So you need to keep this thing in your mind. Okay. So now moving forward, so now you have to tell me, like we know that the modern farming method, like for the development of agriculture, it is very important that we use modern farming method and modern techniques. Like pesticides and fertilizers are used mostly by the farmers to increase production, because they need to. So this is their uh, like this is their need, that they have to use these fertilizers for increasing production, so that they can earn money. So what do you think, apart from fertilizers and apart from chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and HYV seeds, what other things can be done, or what other things you will be able, you can suggest to the farmers? So apart from this chemical fertilizers, they can adopt this method, and they can do this thing, so that there is a we can take care of the environment also, but there is a agriculture development also, or their production can also be increased. So what do you think, what things can be done into this matter? Like, what farmers do then, if they are not using the chemical fertilizers and pesticides, what other things they can be used? Yes, yes, very good. As one of your classmates have written that they can use the cow dung. So we know that in the earlier times, so people use cow dung as a fertilizers in their agriculture field. So this can be a good suggestion. Yes, very good. Apart from this, yes, organic farming can also be adopted there. Yes, very good. Yes, we can adopt for organic farming where we are using organic matter or the animal waste for the chemical apart instead of chemical fertilizers and pesticide. Yes, very good. So very good students. So you can other student can also suggest some majors in the comment section. Then we will discuss them afterwards. Like if this is right suggestion or what improvement can be there in this particular suggestion. Okay. So now here you have to answer this question. So because of the use of groundwater for irrigation purpose, the level of water table is increased, decreased, or constant. So you have to answer this. Like what has happened when we are using groundwater for the purpose of irrigation. Okay, so now we will quickly summarize what we have discussed in this particular class. So firstly, we have discussed about the multi-cropping pattern that have adopted in the village Palampur. Then we have discussed about the modern cropping method, and lastly we discussed about like how this multi-cropping and modern cropping method has affected the land in that particular area. How what are the disadvantage of using this methods? Okay, so now you have to define the term multi-cropping in your own words. Like how would you define multi-cropping pattern or multi-cropping method? Yes, yes, very good. So very good students. So multi-cropping method means when we are growing two crops or more than two crops on one particular piece of land in one particular year. So now what is the various method of modern farming? Like how we can able to do modern farming? Yes. Very good. We can use HYV seeds. We can use good irrigation facilities like canals can be used, dams can be used, and tubewells can be used. And we can also use good machinery. Yes, very good. So now which state first adopted the modern farming method? Like what are the name of those states? Yes, very good students. So modern farming methods are first adopted by Punjab, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh. Very good. So now why soil fertility is decreasing? Like what is the main reason that soil fertility is decreasing? Yes, yes. Write your answer in the comment section, students. Yes, very good. So because of the use of excessive use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, the soil fertility is decreasing day by day. So very good, students. So you have given the correct answer for this question. So now moving forward for your homework. So now what you have to do is you find the following table based on the information of crops grown in your region. So you have to fill this table according to the crops that is being grown in your area. Like you have to name of the crop, you have to write here, then month sown, month harvested, source of irrigation, like what is the main source of irrigation. And then second is you have to write a letter to agriculture minister in your own words telling him how the use of chemical fertilizers can be harmful. So these are the two home assignments that I have given to you. So you have to complete these home assignments and you have to send me on my email ID or you can share it in our WhatsApp group also. So both the ways you can. It's your choice whether you have to send it on email or uh, on WhatsApp group. So choice is yours. So that's all from my side for this particular class. So we shall meet in the next class. Till then, thank you very much and take care all of you. Okay. So thank you, students.